The stars shimmered silently over the Varkari homeworld. Towering cities of silver and blue stretched toward the sky, humming with energy that could power entire fleets. The Varkari, a proud and technologically advanced species, had spent centuries conquering systems, claiming worlds, and bending weaker civilizations to their will. Their scientists had mastered faster-than-light travel, weaponry that could destroy planets, and fleets that could crush entire solar systems. Yet, even with all their knowledge, they remained unaware of one simple truth: Earth was not to be trifled with. It began with a whisper in the void. Deep space sensors picked up a faint transmission from a faraway star system. A pulse so irregular, it seemed almost alive. The transmission came from a planet the Varkari had ignored for centuries: Earth, a small blue world in the Milky Way. Curious, the Varkari Council ordered it analyzed. Within their great crystal chambers, the transmission was projected as a hologram. A shimmering figure appeared. Impossible to describe fully. Like light folded into itself. It spoke only once: "Never defy Earth's might." The Varkari scientists paused. They had encountered hundreds of civilizations, many claiming to possess secrets and warnings. But they had never seen one like this. "Another myth," one counselor said dismissively. "Old stories from primitive beings. We have nothing to fear from a planet still in the Stone Age." Another counselor, younger and more cautious, frowned. "It is not a story. Look at the energy patterns around their planet. Something unusual surrounds it. It is unlike anything we have observed." The council, however, was firm. The Varkari pride was unmatched in the galaxy. Fear had no place in their decision-making. "Earth has remained hidden because it is insignificant," declared the High Commander. "We will take what we need, and no warning will stop us. Prepare the fleets." In the span of weeks, the Varkari mobilized a massive armada. Thousands of sleek, black warships glittered in the darkness, armed with energy cannons capable of obliterating a planet in seconds. Yet, they moved with confidence, unaware that the ancient entity's warning was no idle threat. Meanwhile, on Earth, life went on as usual. People did not know that eyes in the stars were watching, nor that a threat beyond imagination approached. Cities bustled. Spacecraft launched quietly for research, and satellites orbited silently. Among those preparing quietly for the unknown was Admiral Leora Kane, commander of the United Nations Space Command. She had spent her life preparing humanity for the moment they would meet other civilizations. She had always believed that intelligence, adaptability, and courage were humanity's greatest strengths. Yet even she knew that facing the Varkari fleet would test everything she had learned. Her command center was a hub of activity. Scientists and officers monitored deep space sensors, analyzing incoming data with tense anticipation. "Admiral," a young officer called, pointing at a holographic map. "Multiple objects detected at the edge of the solar system. They are moving fast, and they're massive." Leora's brow furrowed. "Size and energy signature? Unmatched. Nothing like this has ever approached Earth before. Weapons capability? Off the charts." Her hands rested on the control console. "Prepare defensive measures. Alert all fleets. This is no ordinary encounter." Despite their advanced technology, humans were far outnumbered. The Varkari fleet was overwhelming in size and firepower. Yet, Leora did not panic. She believed in humanity's ingenuity, the ability to turn disadvantage into opportunity. As the Varkari ships entered the outer reaches of the solar system, they detected Earth's defenses and scanned for vulnerabilities. For the first time, the aliens sensed something they could not explain. The planet itself seemed alive, responding subtly to their presence. Instruments detected faint energy fields, unlike any natural planetary phenomenon. The Varkari scientists called it anomalous, but they quickly dismissed it as interference. "The humans are clever, yes, but primitive," said one commander. "They cannot possibly match our strength. Engage and seize the planet." And so the Varkari advanced. Their massive ships spread across the void, weapons primed, ready to subdue a world they considered weak. In orbit above Earth, the humans waited. Small fleets of research and defense craft moved in formation, ready to monitor and respond. Leora's voice was calm, but her mind raced with calculations. They will underestimate us. That is our advantage. Humanity has survived countless threats because we do not rely solely on strength. We rely on creativity, unpredictability, and unity. Her strategy was simple yet daring. They could not win in a straight fight. They would need to use deception, energy manipulation, and the environment to even the odds. As the first Varkari scouts entered the solar system, they noticed the energy anomalies growing stronger. Instruments flickered, signals twisted, and weapons misfired at random intervals. Confused, they reported to the command fleet. "It is nothing," the High Commander insisted. "The humans are hiding their technology. Prepare the strike." Yet the more they advanced, the more the anomalies affected their systems. Their energy weapons lost precision, shields fluctuated unpredictably, and even navigation sensors became unreliable. The Varkari had never encountered a planet that could interfere with their technology in such a manner. On Earth, Leora observed the results with satisfaction. "The planet is cooperating," she murmured. Just as the ancient entity predicted, the Varkari fleet ignored the legend. But the anomaly was real. Earth itself, through a combination of natural and hidden technology, created defenses beyond the comprehension of the alien race. Small tremors of energy pulsed across the planet, subtly enhancing the shields around key cities and orbital stations. Leora convened her officers. "This is our chance. We need to delay them, study them, and find weaknesses. Our survival depends not on matching their power, but on outthinking them." They deployed reconnaissance drones equipped with advanced AI to gather data. Drones slipped past alien sensors, relaying information about the fleet's formation, weaponry, and tactics. Humanity learned quickly. The Varkari were powerful, but predictable in their arrogance. Days passed, and the tension escalated. The Varkari advanced steadily, believing they were unstoppable. Yet their ships began to experience failures and confusion. Some smaller vessels drifted aimlessly, others collided due to miscalculations. Panic quietly spread among the alien ranks, though the Council refused to admit it. Then came the first contact. A single Varkari scout ship approached Earth's orbit, ready to make an assessment or a threat. Leora watched closely, her fingers on the controls. "Let them come," she said. "They will learn the first lesson." The scout ship fired, and its energy cannon discharged. For the first time, the Varkari realized that the planet's anomaly could reflect and redirect their attacks. The beam veered off course and struck another ship in their fleet. A chain reaction began as several vessels misfired. Chaos spread. Leora allowed herself a brief smile. Humanity survives because we adapt. Our strength is not just in our weapons, but in our minds, our unity, and our courage. In a distant corner of the galaxy, the ancient entity observed silently. Its message had been delivered once, long ago. The warning had been ignored by many civilizations, but Earth had listened, and the human spirit was proving its worth. The Varkari High Commander, furious and confused, demanded answers. "How is this possible? This planet is supposed to be weak. We cannot control them." A young officer hesitated, then spoke. "It is as the legends said. The planet itself may be defending them." The High Commander slammed a clawed hand against the console. "Legends, superstitions. I will not be denied by a world of children. Advance the fleet, crush them." Yet every step forward seemed to encounter new resistance. The anomaly's energy pulsed, subtle but strong, as if Earth were alive and aware. Humans worked tirelessly to reinforce their shields, prepare strategies, and coordinate orbital defenses. Leora knew that the coming days would test every skill, every plan, every ounce of courage humanity possessed. As night fell on the planet below, the lights of human cities sparkled peacefully, unaware of the approaching danger in the void. And above them, the stars were no longer silent observers. They bore witness to the first chapter of humanity's defiance, a defiance that would soon echo across the galaxy. For the Varkari, arrogance blinded them. For humanity, courage, unity, and ingenuity would shine brighter than any weapon in the universe. The ancient entity's warning had been clear, and the first signs that it should have been heeded were already unfolding. The stage was set. The battle for Earth's survival had begun. The Varkari fleet loomed across the solar system, vast and unyielding, black ships cutting through the starlight. Yet, the closer they came to Earth, the more their confidence began to falter. Sensors failed, weapons misfired, navigation systems glitched, sometimes sending entire squadrons careening off course. On Earth, Admiral Leora Kane watched carefully from the control room of the United Nations Space Command headquarters. The holographic display of the incoming fleet shimmered in blue and green, representing every ship in the enemy armada. "They are confused," Leora said, almost in disbelief. "The planet is helping us. We need to understand how far we can push this advantage." Her chief science officer, Dr. Rami Al-Hassan, nodded. "The energy readings are extraordinary. They are not just interference, they are active defense mechanisms. The planet itself is adapting." Leora leaned forward. "Prepare all defensive protocols. Activate the Gaia shields fully. We can't just survive, we need to gather intelligence and strike carefully." The Gaia shields were humanity's secret weapon. Developed over decades in hidden orbital research stations, they were designed to amplify Earth's natural magnetic and energy fields. Initially conceived for solar storms and asteroid defense, their true potential had never been fully revealed. Now, under the stress of an alien invasion, the shields reached levels of power even the scientists had not anticipated. "Energy output at maximum," reported Dr. Al-Hassan. "The shields are resonating with the planet's natural fields. They are forming a protective aura around critical regions, cities, research stations, orbital defense grids. It's beautiful." Leora's mind raced. They could not match the Varkari in raw firepower. But strategy, timing, and Earth's hidden defenses could turn the odds. The first skirmishes began with reconnaissance drones. Small, agile craft, launched quietly from hidden stations, slipping through enemy lines. Their purpose was simple: observe, disrupt, and learn. They darted between massive warships, analyzing weapon systems, shield configurations, and communication signals. The drones returned with astonishing data. The Varkari fleet was powerful, yes, but their coordination relied heavily on strict hierarchies. Any disruption to communication caused chaos. And the Gaia shields were already creating that disruption. Leora smiled. "They are smart, but they are predictable. Humanity's strength is not in following patterns, it is in breaking them. Prepare the first maneuver." In orbit, small skirmishes began. Varkari scout ships attempted to probe the Earth's defenses, but their weapons misfired. Some cannons reflected energy harmlessly back, causing confusion. Other ships veered into their own lines due to sensor failures. A wave of panic rippled through the fleet as commanders struggled to maintain control. Meanwhile, Leora initiated a daring plan. Using rapid orbital shifts, Earth's fleet began to appear in multiple positions at once, creating the illusion of vastly larger numbers. The Gaia shields amplified these maneuvers, projecting energy distortions that made ships look like ghostly phantoms in space. The Varkari, who relied on brute force and intimidation, became hesitant. "We are outmaneuvered," one commander admitted. "These humans, they are clever beyond what we expected." But the high commander of the Varkari refused to yield. "Cleverness will not save them. Bring in the strike units. Destroy everything in our path." The Varkari unleashed volleys of energy against Earth's orbital defense platforms. For a moment, the human fleet was in danger. But the Gaia shields flared brightly, absorbing and redirecting the attacks. Beams intended to obliterate satellites, instead harmlessly dispersed into space. A few even ricocheted, striking enemy scout ships. Status report, Leora demanded. Dr. Al-Hassan's eyes widened. The shields are stronger than predicted. They are feeding off the planet's magnetic field. Even the Varkari weapons are strengthening the shields as they attack. Perfect, Leora said. Use that. Every strike they make will make us stronger. As the battle unfolded, the ancient entity's presence became subtly more apparent. Though it did not speak, its energy influenced human decision-making. Key maneuvers previously unthinkable succeeded against overwhelming odds. Drones and ships moved in perfect coordination, avoiding enemy fire with seemingly impossible precision. On board one of the largest Varkari warships, confusion and fear began to spread. Pilots whispered among themselves about the anomalies, about how their instruments betrayed them. Many had never encountered a species capable of such ingenuity. On Earth, Leora coordinated her fleet with calm authority. We are not just defending our planet. We are showing them what it means to underestimate humanity. Every move we make now must teach them a lesson they will never forget. The human fleet struck carefully at exposed Varkari supply ships. Though small in number, they caused disruption that spread across the enemy formations. Communication between Varkari vessels faltered as the shields amplified interference, creating delays and confusion in their commands. Dr. Al-Hassan observed the effects with awe. They think they are striking us. They do not realize that their attacks are making us stronger. It's almost poetic, Leora nodded. Poetic, yes, but more importantly, strategic. This is how we survive. As the Varkari grew frustrated, one ambitious young commander decided to take matters into their own hands. I will bypass their shields. I will strike the planet directly. The High Commander froze. No, that is reckless. You cannot control it, but it was too late. The young commander fired a massive beam aimed at the planet's surface. For a heartbeat, all hope seemed lost. The beam tore through space, a streak of bright energy that threatened every city below. Then, as if Earth itself intervened, the beam faltered mid-trajectory. Energy from the Gaia shields flared upward, dispersing the attack harmlessly into the atmosphere. The shields glowed with a brilliant aura, visible even from orbit. Planetary defenses holding, Dr. Al-Hassan reported. The shields. They are adapting in real time. Every attack strengthens them further. The Varkari commander screamed in frustration. Impossible. How can a primitive world resist? Not primitive, Leora said quietly to herself. Resourceful, clever, strong. That is why we endure. Humanity began to take the initiative. Using the information gathered from drones, Leora orchestrated targeted strikes on key enemy vessels. Energy pulses from the Gaia shields amplified these strikes, allowing a few small ships to disable massive warships without direct confrontation. The first real victory for Earth's forces sent shockwaves through the Varkari ranks. Their confidence began to crumble. For the first time in generations, the invaders faced a force they could not easily conquer. Meanwhile, on Earth, the civilian population remained largely unaware of the full danger. Though emergency measures had been enacted, orbital shelters were prepared, and non-essential spacecraft were grounded. People looked to the sky in awe, sometimes catching glimpses of strange lights and shadows as the fleet maneuvered above. Leora convened a meeting with her top officers. We cannot afford complacency. The Varkari will regroup and strike harder. Our advantage comes from adaptability, intelligence, and unity. We must use it fully, Dr. Al-Hassan nodded. The energy patterns. They suggest that the planet itself can guide us. The ancient entity's influence is subtle, but effective. We must follow it. Then we follow it, Leora said firmly. Every move we make will be deliberate. Every strike will count. Humanity will not be defeated, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Days passed. Skirmishes continued, with humans striking unpredictably and retreating just as the Varkari expected them to advance. Energy readings confirmed that the Gaia shields were now operating at unprecedented levels. Ships misfired, weapons malfunctioned, and entire Varkari formations began to break apart. The High Commander's frustration became desperation. "We are losing control. We must withdraw or face annihilation." Yet some of the Varkari were stubborn, unwilling to accept defeat. "We are warriors," they cried. "We do not retreat from a primitive species." But the evidence was undeniable. Small human ships, guided by the shields and careful strategy, were causing disproportionate damage. Even without direct firepower, humans were turning the tide. On Earth, Leora prepared her forces for the next phase. The Varkari believe they can still win with brute force. "We will show them the true strength of humanity. Not just our weapons, but our minds, our courage, and our unity. We will make them rethink everything they know about this planet." As the sun rose over Earth's cities, its light reflected off oceans and mountains, creating a subtle glow visible even from orbit. The planet itself seemed to pulse with life, as if in harmony with its defenders. The Gaia shields shimmered brightly, protecting humanity, confusing the Varkari, and amplifying the hope of every human below. The first stage of the battle had ended. The humans had survived, not through sheer power, but through ingenuity, strategy, and the hidden might of their world. The Varkari retreated slightly, regrouping in confusion. But their arrogance remained intact. They did not yet realize that Earth was a force unlike any they had faced before. Leora gazed at the stars. "They will return," she said. "And when they do, we will be ready. Humanity will not just defend our planet. We will show the galaxy that Earth is not to be underestimated." And far above, unseen by any, the ancient entity's presence pulsed faintly, a silent nod to the humans who had heeded its warning, proving that courage, intelligence, and unity could stand against even the greatest threats. The war for Earth's survival had entered a new stage. The humans had discovered their hidden strength, and the Varkari had learned their first lesson. But the true test was yet to come, and the galaxy waited to see how humanity would rise. The Varkari had retreated, but their retreat was not defeat, it was a pause, a gathering of strength before a final, overwhelming strike. From deep in their command fleet, the High Commander observed Earth through massive sensors. The humans had survived initial attacks. Their orbital defenses had held. Their technology, though primitive compared to Varkari might, had shown cunning and resilience. "Enough games," the High Commander growled. "Prepare the superweapon. This world will bend, or it will be destroyed." The superweapon was a colossal structure. A fusion of energy and matter, capable of obliterating planetary shields and splitting Earth's crust. Its sheer magnitude dwarfed even the largest Varkari warships. When activated, it would destroy every orbital defense and leave the planet vulnerable to invasion. On Earth, Admiral Leora Kane studied the incoming threat with her officers. The Gaia shields had held so far, but they could not withstand such overwhelming force. Humanity needed a plan bold, precise, and ingenious. "We cannot match them in power," Leora said, pointing at the holographic display. "But we can outthink them. This weapon is too big, too powerful, but it is also vulnerable. Every system has a flaw." Dr. Al-Hassan, her chief science officer, nodded. "I've analyzed the data. If we can infiltrate the weapon's core, we can destabilize it. A small strike at the right time could reverse its energy output." Leora's eyes sparkled with determination. "Then, we do exactly that. Humanity will not run. We will fight smart. We will fight together, and we will win." The plan was audacious. A select strike team would board the superweapon using advanced teleportation pods developed in secret. These pods could transport humans across vast distances in seconds, bypassing enemy defenses. Once inside, they would target the core systems, destabilizing the energy flow and turning the superweapon against the Varkari fleet. The mission required precise timing. Earth's fleet would act as a diversion, drawing the Varkari attention outward, while the strike team infiltrated the weapon. Every move depended on coordination, intelligence, and courage. As the Varkari fleet advanced toward Earth, Leora addressed her officers. "This is humanity's moment. The galaxy will judge us not by the size of our weapons, but by the strength of our minds and the courage of our hearts. We strike as one. We win as one. Move out. The diversion began. Small human ships darted between enemy vessels, creating confusion and misdirection. Energy pulses from the Gaia shields amplified every maneuver, making ships appear and disappear, striking where none were expected. On board the superweapon, the Varkari commanders prepared to unleash devastation. "Activate the main beam," the High Commander ordered. A surge of energy roared through space, aimed directly at Earth's defenses, but the strike team had already deployed. Teleportation pods opened silently near the weapon's hull. Humans emerged inside the massive alien structure, moving quickly, guided by intelligence gathered from previous skirmishes. Inside, the superweapon was a labyrinth of energy conduits, glowing panels, and humming machinery. The humans had no room for error. Every step was a risk. Every miscalculation could mean instant destruction. "We split into teams," Leora instructed via secure communication. "Team Alpha targets the core. Team Beta handles defense systems and security drones. Precision, speed, and unity, nothing more." The teams moved like shadows, evading patrolling Varkari forces. Their understanding of human adaptability and improvisation gave them an edge. The Varkari were powerful, but rigid in their tactics. Humanity thrived on flexibility. Meanwhile, outside the weapon, the diversion reached its peak. Human ships engaged in controlled strikes, drawing enemy fire and causing widespread disarray. The Varkari fleet struggled to maintain formation as their systems continued to fail under the influence of Earth's shields. Inside the weapon, Team Alpha reached the core chamber. It was vast, pulsing with energy beyond human imagination. Dr. Al-Hassan studied the control panels, calculating the precise disruption needed to destabilize the energy flow. "This is it," he said. "If we miscalculate, it could destroy everything. But if we succeed, we turn their weapon against them." Leora's hand rested on the control interface. "Do it. Humanity survives today because we act when others hesitate. We are clever, courageous, and united. Let's show them." Energy surged as the team executed the plan. The superweapon shuddered violently. Alarms blared. Energy conduits cracked and sparked. Systems began to destabilize, sending pulses outward. Outside, the Varkari fleet noticed the effect immediately. Their sensors went haywire as the superweapon's energy backfired. Ships nearest the weapon were struck by uncontrolled blasts, while others experienced cascading system failures. Chaos spread rapidly. The High Commander screamed in fury. "Stop it! This cannot happen! Control it!" But it was too late. Humanity's precision strike had succeeded. The superweapon turned against the Varkari fleet, striking their own ships with the destructive force meant for Earth. Massive warships exploded, and panic engulfed the remaining forces. On Earth, Leora observed the results with calm triumph. The tide has turned. Humanity prevails not because of raw power, but because of ingenuity, unity, and courage. Team Alpha and Team Beta exited the superweapon just as it collapsed in a controlled detonation, ensuring no remnants could threaten Earth again. Their mission had succeeded perfectly. The surviving Varkari fleet, battered and demoralized, began to retreat. The High Commander had no choice but to withdraw, leaving behind their conquered ambitions. They had underestimated Earth and humanity, and the lesson was clear. In the aftermath, humanity looked to the stars with new confidence. The United Nations Space Command coordinated rescue and recovery efforts for damaged satellites and orbital stations. Scientists studied the remnants of Varkari technology, eager to learn from what they had faced. Leora addressed the fleet and the world. "Today, we have shown that humanity cannot be underestimated. We have survived because of our minds, our courage, and our unity. We have defended our planet and proven that Earth's might is real." Dr. Al-Hassan smiled. "And we have learned from the ancient entity's warning. It was never just a legend. It guided us, subtly, ensuring we reached our potential when the moment came. In orbit, the Gaia shields continued to glow faintly, a reminder that Earth itself had participated in its own defense. The bond between humanity and its planet had strengthened, demonstrating the synergy between human ingenuity and natural power. Across the globe, people celebrated quietly. No one had been aware of the full extent of the battle, yet instinctively, they felt that something extraordinary had happened. Humanity had faced an overwhelming threat and emerged victorious. Not through domination or aggression, but through intelligence, courage, and unity. Weeks later, diplomatic channels opened. Other civilizations in nearby systems, having observed the events, approached with caution and respect. Messages reached Earth, acknowledging humanity as a force to be reckoned with. Stories spread of the humans who had turned the mightiest weapon of the Valkyrie against its creators. Leora stood at a viewing platform, looking at the stars. The galaxy has seen what we are capable of. But our work is just beginning. We must continue to grow, to learn, and to prepare. Not for war, but for the future of humanity among the stars. Dr. Al-Hassan joined her. The ancient entity's warning was wise, but we have proved that Earth's might is not only a warning, it is a promise. Humanity can rise to any challenge. Leora smiled. Yes, and the universe will remember. Not because we are the strongest, but because we are clever, united, and brave. That is the true power of Earth. Above, in the darkness of space, the stars shimmered, as if in approval. Humanity had not only survived, they had risen, showing the galaxy that Earth's might was real, and that humans were a species worthy of respect, awe, and caution. The Valkyrie would carry the memory of this defeat for generations. A reminder that arrogance could be a weakness, and that humanity, small though it seemed, could not be ignored. On Earth, life returned to a new normal. People went about their daily lives, unaware of how close they had come to annihilation. Yet, the planet itself seemed to hum with quiet pride, a subtle reflection of its inhabitants' courage, and far beyond the Milky Way. The ancient entity observed silently. Its warning had been heeded, its guidance honored. Humanity had risen to meet the challenge, proving that even in the face of unimaginable power, intelligence, unity, and courage could triumph. The stars whispered of a new chapter for humanity, one where Earth's might would never again be underestimated, and where humans would continue to shine as a beacon of ingenuity and resilience in the galaxy. Humanity had survived. Humanity had prevailed. Humanity had proven the truth of the ancient entity's warning. Never defy Earth's might.